can I share something with you too? When I started speaking, and I'm asked to speak a lot, and I choose to speak 2 weekends a month. That's it. So I could be home with my kids and my family. We're traveling with travel basketball, 7 months of the year. Now we're into provincial travels and stuff. So I tend to miss some of their games. So I'm really hesitant of leaving. I really value my time. I do speaking throughout the week periodically at business functions, etc. And one thing that I've found this, and I want to share this with you, for those of you that are interested in speaking, or whatever it is that you're doing. Whenever you get in front of a group of an audience, whether it's 5 people, whether it's 50 people or 1,000 people, whatever, 10% of the audience is always going to dislike you. So, and please know that. It doesn't matter what you do. You might remind them of somebody. You just might not like them. Or, and there's probably 1 or 2 here that really don't like me. And that's okay. All right? I'm going to give you permission, please. If you don't like me, please feel free, though, to still ask questions and that. 10%, no matter what you do, will absolutely love you. Absolutely love you. Remember that. 80% of the room is always on, I'm not sure, let's see what this guy's all about or this woman's all about. So I just thought I would share that statistic with you. Because as we move forward here, if you don't like me, I'll do my best to try to earn you. And if you just let me know and I'll buy you a coffee. How's that? Okay? I like Starbucks coffee, by the way. I don't like room coffee. It tastes terrible. But I do like official Verona tall with room for dairy, just in case you want to take me for coffee. But I have some content. So I want to go there and push back on me. If you want me to delve into something, I'm going to keep this really open-ended. So I have everything here, and we're going to start right up here. Second. Here it is. All right. Let me, okay, I want to start tapping into advanced teaching and learning technology in the recommendation age. I honestly thought that this would be most appreciated by all of you, considering that the focus is for this day on the authoring and everything to do with authoring. Is that okay with everybody? All right. This is one area that I do a lot of speaking on because we've created. This is what got me recognized by Adobe. Not just because we help people write a book, but because of what was in the book in terms of making it really, it had some meat to it, and it was really helping influence marketplaces today. So I'm going to go through some concepts with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop me. And I wanted to bring out another tip here, a strategy, and I want you to write that down because it's really important. It has to do with leverage. Context is the only item that trumps content in the recommendation age. You hear people say today that content is king, and they're partially right. I like to say content is queen, context is king. And I say that from a position of a chess set, okay? Just in case there's any women in here that take offense to that. But in a game of chess, the king is the game, the queen is the next most valuable piece on the board for those of you that play chess. I used to play competitive chess. My kids laugh at me when they see my pictures in the yearbook. I also played sports in high school, so I was like an anomaly. Played sports, was on the chess team, and stuff like that. So I like using my mind. But most importantly, I like creating structures to help people see things differently and then, in turn, be able to apply it to their own marketplaces today. So context is everything. What do we mean by that? I say that context is leveraged content. In other words, in the recommendation age, people will never hear what it is that you do unless you build the right context. And I'm going to share with you 3 important ways of building the right context. So in order to have the right content, you must have the right context. So context trumps content. I have so many people coming to me today, Glenn, I'm the expert in this field, I'm the expert in this field, I'm the expert here, I'm the expert, but I'm losing market share. And they're losing market share because they have they don't have the right context for their content. So I want to share with you how to do that. Another way of saying that is the area of sales and marketing. Now, on Saturday, I'm going to share with you our system that's not, because everybody hates doing sales, right? I hate sales. I hate even sounding salesy. How many people here hate sales? Yet, have you considered how many times each of you have sold something today, right? I already sold you on Starbucks coffee, Verona, right? Tall, room for dairy, milk, right? I sold you on Disney, right? I sold you on my kids. I've hopefully not sold any guy here on my wife, all right? But we constantly are selling. We sell, but yet when we're really passionate, that's why I'm saying if you're not passionate about what you do, you're dead in the market today. So I'm going to share with you a system on how to take your expertise, because everybody's scared. Like, well, Glenn, you know, how can I develop the confidence to sell a $5,000, a $10,000, a $20,000 high-end coaching program, or other high-end programs and services? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm trying to stay away from this room. Sir, what's your name? Keith? How are you doing, Keith? Hi. And what's your name? Nadia? Hi. I'm trying to stay away from this room, not because I'm avoiding you guys, but because I'm scared I'm going to be in the way of the screen for the camera. So I'll try to float better, but I tend to lean right, okay? Leaning Tower of Pisa. All right. So I want to talk to you about sales and marketing, but how to do it strategically so you never come across as a slimy salesperson, all right? We all sell, right? Whether it's the best diapers for our kids, or, you know, it's, I don't know, a picture that you took, or an experience that you had. So I'm going to show you what to do there. But first of all, I want to build out two in the area of content, and we're going to bring those together. Those of you that are moving forward with us, this is the stuff that we work with our clients through, step by step, and to help them so they get feedback every step of the way. So content rules. The only three things that can be taught and learned in the recommendation age, taught and learned in the recommendation age, is not more information. If you think your job is to deliver more facts, you're sorely mistaken, Mary Ryder. How are you doing, Mary? Yeah, good. Where are you from, Mary? San Diego. I love San Diego. I'm going to be in San Diego in a few months. I like Mission Bay, and I like La Jolla, and I've swum across the bay in La Jolla. Yeah, I never thought I would, but I saw the swimmers out there on a Friday afternoon, and my kids were like way out there. At the time, well, last time I was there with my kids was 2 years ago, and they were diving, coming back up. They were like in, 15 feet of water, right, just off the the cove there. And they were just like, Dad, we can't drown. We keep bopping. And so we had a lot of fun. I ended up, because I used to do triathlon, so I ended up going back. I hadn't done that length in a long time. So anyways, only three things that could be taught and learned in the recommendation age: attitudes, skills, and knowledge. Now, I'm going to give you, I hope all of you understand, people invest huge sums of money for me to teach them this. I'm doing this because I really want you to help move forward. I'm also doing this for those of you that are already in our program to help you better understand content and context. Only three things that can be learned and taught: attitudes, which is mindset; knowledge, and I'm going to define knowledge for you. It's not information; and finally, skills. And I'm going to show you where the real money is made in your niche market. We call it Just Ask: attitudes, skills, and knowledge. Now, I give you this sheet here. This is part of our unconscious credibility marketing system. You can't read that. By the way, never show slides where people can't read. I'm only doing this right now because I'm trying to be real with you, kind of behind the scenes. So that's how I'm viewing this. Is that okay? I would never do that if this were a normal group. How's that? I'm going to get hit. No, I would never show that because you can't read it. If you can't show, notice I'm really picky about video. You can ask Don back there. I always go over my video, I always go over my audio, and I always go over my slides to make sure that everybody can see them. One of the biggest mistakes that people make in teaching and learning is if they show video and people can't hear it, they can't watch it, it gets them frustrated. Are they learning? No. So whatever you're positioning in the marketplace, remember that. If it's audio and they can't hear it clearly, they're going to get frustrated because audio is meant to be listened to, right? And then finally, if they can't read it, they're going to get really, really irritated. So you can't read that, but I did that as a purpose, just to try to irritate you, okay? How many people feel a little irritated that they can't read it, right? And when you start squinting and you cease listening. So if you watch my presentation, I want to break it down a little bit, and I want you to watch what I do on Saturday. So I'm kind of giving you behind the scenes. You see, people come to me and they say, Glenn, I want a keynote, or I want to learn how to sell from the platform, because that's what I teach clients to do, how to sell from the platform or how to keynote. And so this is the kind of stuff I'll go in and I'll build their whole presentation for them. And with my inner circle clients, and they pay a huge sums of money to be in my inner circle, I'll actually teach them how to sell a high-end program or service. So you never want to get your target market confused. And I'm bringing this out for a reason. The information age is like that. You look at it, you think, man, I can't see it, I can't hear it, it's making me feel upset. And that's how your clients view you in the marketplace today. They're jaded, they're cynical, they're upset. All right? Our unconscious credibility marketing system is all set up to help pull out your multi-million-dollar story, how to position it, leverage it, and I'm not going to go into it any further than that just because you can't see it. However, what I do want to point out is this. First of all, if you look down at the very bottom of the screen on the right side, you'll see UPP, Unique Personal Proposition. That's how to build out your multi-million-dollar story. And it's leveraged in one of three ways, and I want to show you right now. For example, I use Alex Mandossian, and you'll hear his testimonial on Thursday with over 1,800 video case studies. And Alex said this a little over a year ago. In less than 4 years, no one has more testimonials than Glenn Dietzel today. In fact, no one comes even close. How many people know who Alex is? Alex and I do a lot of business together. Alex is one of only 3 people I will promote wholeheartedly because he understands teaching and learning, and he understands how to deliver when he's teaching and he's learning. So I do a lot of stuff with Alex. But you want to be able to leverage your social proof. So this is part of my multi-million-dollar story, right? I'm going to share with you another aspect of my UPP on Saturday. And I shared with you already a little bit today, right? I shared with you about coming to Disney, and I got a little choked up about that, right? And that happened, and sometimes you can't predict that. It happened because Disney means so much to me as a kid growing up here, right? And it's just... So that's all part of your multi-million-dollar story. Part of my multi-million-dollar story now is the video case studies and all that. So as you're looking at what is my multi-million-dollar story, I want you to start looking at your own life. And I'm going to give you a piece of homework right now that I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper, and literally I want you to turn it in landscape format. And you're probably going to end up having to do a number of sheets, like Carol's going to have to do because she's in our program. And you're going to do a timeline. And if you look back on our sheet for a second, there's that thick line. That's our Awaken history timeline. And we got a whole program around that. But I want you to start evaluating your life right from the earliest moments of life to where you are today, right here. And I want you to start analyzing all the experiences that you've had. Because the only thing that you're going to remember in life are experiences, right? You don't remember specifically what happened in a math class when you're in the 8th grade, but you can remember maybe some stories that happened, right? A teacher that embarrassed you, or maybe somebody that said to Sandra, you're no good in math, you should go into English, right? And maybe Sandra is really good in math, I don't know. Or she's had an experience like that, but it's caused her to go in a certain direction in life, rightly or wrongly. Probably wrongly, because we start internalizing these stories about why we don't deserve success. And that's ultimately what our UPP program is aimed at, is what is your story about why you don't deserve success? So I want you to write that down, and that's part of your homework. I want you to get clear on what is the story that you have about why you don't deserve success. Because if you can get clear on that story, you can start getting the dragons from your past out of the way. Like there's some people in here right now that would be absolutely paralyzed in fear if they had to stand up and start speaking, right? because they've had some bad experiences. And people said, well, who are you, Glenn, to be able to do that, or whatever. And we start internalizing that negative story. That's what I mean about the human mind being jaded and cynical. Our own human mind is jaded and cynical. How many of you were really honest when I said, where do you want to be 6 months from now? How many of you found yourself writing and you were truly limiting where you think you could be because you're jaded and cynical, perhaps, about what's possible for you? So, part of your homework then is this. First of all, I want you to get clear on your multi-million-dollar story initially. And secondly, I want you, with the timeline, I want you to start recording all the negative experiences and positive experiences that have happened in your life. And I want you to rate them. If you notice, I'm a huge believer on assessment instruments, helping your target market feel its pain. And if you can do it numerically, and that's what our expert positioner software does, helps actually build out the pain of your market gives them a number. So people think, man, that's all I got, and they really feel their pain. So on that timeline, I want you to address all the positive and negative experiences. Above the timeline will be your positive ones, the negative ones. Now, I want you to focus on 3s and 4s, and let me define a 1 and a 2. A 1 is an emotional experience that you can remember, and you maybe remember it, I don't know, every few months to maybe every month. A 2 is something that it's on your mind, almost on a weekly basis. A 3 is something on your mind just about every day. And a 4 is on your mind, if not every day, just about every hour. Because I want you to start analyzing your thinking. Because most people, remember I said to control marketplaces today, he or she who self-reflects the greatest controls markets. I want you to start feeling the power. Because all you are ultimately paid to do, and I want everybody to hear me very clearly here, you are ultimately paid to out-self-reflect your competitors and out-self-reflect your ideal clients and put that together in a system to solve their problems because they've never even realized the pain that they're in. And you're going to use some touching points in your market, in your marketing, that's going to help them understand their pain. So I want you to address the 3s and 4s in your life. And I want you to circle them. In those 3s and 4s, there's going to be some pain points. Those are going to be tremendous pain points or tremendous, experiences that you've had in your life that define who you are today. And I really want you to analyze the pain in your life. Because the pain in your life is what's going to help your target market relate to you. G.K. Chesterton, he was contemporaneous with C.S. Lewis, said this, and he was almost chastising British business owners a number of years ago. And he said this, why do you spend so much time promoting your products and services when people don't even understand the pain that they're in? So unless your target market understands its pain, you're dead. So let me give you a multi-million-dollar tip. The reason why Seth Godin talks about, and all marketers are liars, doesn't talk about anything unethical or immoral. He says if you can't tell a multi-million-dollar story today, you're dead. You just will not be listened to. You have to be able to tell your story. Now, he doesn't tell you how to tell your story. Our system helps you. And I want to give you a head start on that. So whenever you talk about yourself from now on, in your own category within your niche market, you're never going to talk about yourself outside of helping your target market understand its pain. Empathize with them. And empathy is different than sympathy. Sympathy means they're going to feel sorry for you because you had to go through that. Empathy means you're holding their hand and helping them feel their pain. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about? So you must become a master at leveraging your multi-million-dollar story. You also must be a master at leveraging endorsements that are part of your multi-million-dollar story. So I'm leveraging this with Alex. Here's part of my multi-million-dollar story now. Where I'm at today, I've worked with Joel Comm, and I'm hesitant sometimes to use Joel, along with some of my clients, like Bob Smith, who's done $650 million, because I know for some of you, that's like, it just makes your head spin. It's like, man, Glenn can't even relate to me as program. Joel was no different than any of you here, and he'll tell you that right on. In fact, you'll see his video testimonial where he speaks more specifically about what we did on Thursday. But you need to be a master at leveraging out of your multi-million-dollar story your work with your in your market. Even if it's only been clients that you've worked with pro bono, go back and start getting testimonials from them. Start eliminating the resistance in the market. And then finally, leverage the heck out of getting into media. And those of you that are moving forward with us, we're putting you in media. Why? Because we're featuring you as a case study. But if you notice on my material, have you noticed that? The as seen on TV on some of my slides? Did anybody pick up on that? Why did I do that? To build credibility, right? At a subconscious level, right? I didn't have to go and say, did anybody hear me say I've been on television? I've been on some of the biggest TV shows. I didn't even show you the stuff, right? Because I thought, you know what, I don't even want to go there. I want to show my real clients and normal people and what we've done. But I use as seen on TV to build out my credibility. So the key, all of you can get on television very, very easily, and or in radio or in the media to be able to leverage that. And that's a part of our program that we help you with. I want to take you through some components of building out a USP right now. A unique sales or selling proposition or position, and you must absolutely know what separates you in the marketplace. So remember I talked about we're working on context and we're working on content. I went to context first of all and building out 3 levels of credibility, all right? Through endorsements, through testimonials, and through leveraging it inside of the media. Why do you want to get in the media? Because you have, when people on television, radio, when you read about something, does anybody ever question whether or not that person was an expert? Absolutely not. Remember, it's influencing the perception. Now, I'm going to take you through some principles of a USP. This is a system that clients used to pay me, little old me, within a year of leaving my job, $100,000 to help them deliver it. So I'm going to take you through some principles around how to differentiate yourself in relationship to the negative perception that your target market has of your competitors. Ultimately, when you're reframing what you do, you want to know who your competitors are so you know what it is that they're not doing. You want to know how your target market views the problems that your competitors, views its own problems, and most importantly, you want to see how your ideal clients view what your competitors are not doing. All right, the negative perception. The gaps in the marketplace today are around building out what you do around the negative perception that your competitors are not doing. And I'm going to introduce to you 4 industry gaps that I don't know anybody today is teaching this, and I'm going to share that with you. Your USP has a dual function. It must be stated as a proposition, that's the P in USP, universal or unique sales or selling, proposition or position. Literally, we could spend the next several days talking about this. But I want to take you through a few principles to help you think more clearly where you exist in the marketplace. Must be stated as a position and as a proposition. But first of all, I want to give you 7 reasons why you never want to compete on price. I think this is really important. First of all, price buyers take up all your time. All right? Where you see most people today, they're trying to build on the wrong ladder, on the lowest rungs. And when there's a recession or a downturn in the economy, what happens with everybody's mindset? It contracts. And now everybody's competing on the lowest end rungs of the ladder, and it's just like a feeding frenzy, and it's leading to companies dying out quicker and faster than ever. However, I want all of you to realize there's where the greatest opportunity is for you according to Zipf's law. If you can be perceived, I don't care whether you are starting out from scratch like Sandra trying to redefine what she's doing, right? If Sandra can build herself her own little unique category, and we're going to talk about that, Sandra, and it's put the social proof, testimonials, the work you've done, you know, where that sweet spot, and all of you have that. You've just never, most of you have never been paid for it, right? I mean, I should be paid by Starbucks in terms of the, you know, the advert I give for them. Why? I spend every morning at Starbucks for 2 hours, 6:30 till 8:30 in the morning. That's where I do all my planning. All the people at Starbucks all laugh. That's my home. And I go to Starbucks probably a couple times a day, just to break up my routine and get me out of the office And, I like drinking coffee. I mean, that's my big sin. And I also drink a lot of water to keep myself hydrated. But you never want to take up, price buyers take up all your time. So you never want to compete on price. Number two, they do all the complaining. By the way, the biggest growth in our company, can I share with you, everybody here, where the biggest growth in our company is? It's not in entrepreneurial authoring, which is only one component of our company. Helping people write a book, I can help anybody do it. We can do it really quickly and get you introduced to a New York publisher. That's easy. I have that system down, so simple. People today and generating cash flow for that. Most of our business, and this company, by the way, our entrepreneurial authoring program is growing, flourishing. But the biggest growth in my company is in our highest end programs and services, $30,000 to $50,000 programs. And this is supposed to be in a marketplace that's contracting. Why? Because there's always people that understand if it's not based on price, the only other way to position yourself in the marketplace is based on value, right? And they do all the complaining. People that compete on or want to lowball you or do whatever, they end up doing all the complaining. You're working with the wrong people. It's just going to take you out of your game. Third, they tell your customers how little they paid for it. And I'm going to show you, by the way, on Saturday how we structure our business back end. This is where I was asked to share the stage with Tony Robbins, and I was asked to share this very model. So I'll be doing that. And they brag about it. There's nothing worse than having somebody lowball you and then going around and telling everybody else, oh, that's what that guy takes. That's what he'll accept. Pretty soon you're in the market around low price because that's what everybody expects. Well, you gave that guy that price and this, and you're dealing with absolutely the wrong people. Fourth, if their loyalty is only on price, they're going to purchase from you once, which is the most expensive way of acquiring a client. Remember Zipf's Law? Zipf's Law says that if you solve a very specific problem, they're yours for life. Life. I have clients in our company that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars because they've been with our company for years. Why? Because of the success that we've given them. Then they're going to leave you once for someone else. And that's what's going to happen. Number 5, they'll acquire you at the lowest price and then try to blackmail you for a lower price. 6, they'll destroy the credibility of your price and service in the eyes of your clients. 7, and the most important, they'll steal your ideas, information, knowledge, anything they can get their hands on. And that's the reality of the information age. So you need to be able to insulate yourself from that. So let's talk about building out your content properly so that people can't steal what it is, your proprietary systems that all of you have up here that you've learned through the School of Hard Knocks. So let's talk about that. First of all, it's more than a big promise. How many people know who Jay Abraham is? I'm on Jay Abraham's stage, and Jay is using our ideation process today, and we'll talk more about that on Thursday. It's more than a big promise. I like Jay, but it's more than that. It's more than a motivating idea. It must solve a gap in the market. And that gap must be, what is your target market? Like, think about them very clearly. Close your eyes. Who is my ideal client? Make sure you're passionate about working with them. You have some kind of modicum of expertise, and they have deep pockets. If they don't have any money, it's not a good market to be in. Are you going to be launching a 501c3, not for profit, all right? And if that's really your market, then, or you're interested in working with them, then that's part of your value system. That's why you're going into business, to give back to that market group. I'm giving back to you right now. I hope all of you realize this. I'm giving you extra time because I'm sure, it's a way for me. I'm a teacher. I love teaching, and I love receptive students. I tell my wife today, I had students before that used to fight and scream coming into my classroom. By the way, my kids accomplished some amazing things in my classroom. Why? Because I took inner city kids that were down here, and I love working with inner city kids. Why? Because after a month of going through hell with them, I'm like God to them, right? Because they don't have dads, and you're involved in sports. So it's all of a sudden it's like, whoa, somebody cares. The ones that I don't like, I hate working with kids that have everything, and they just expect everything, and their kid didn't get an A+, and their parents are at school, threatening a lawsuit and all that. I just hate. I like working with kids that would tell me to F off in my face, and then a month later, having to deal with that, you win them over, and now they're yours. And raising the bar from here higher than they've ever dreamed possible. So I want to help you develop your USP, not down here which is really lazy thinking, but I want you to be positioned strategically in the marketplace. So you must solve an industry gap. Let's look at that further. Every product and service in your company that you create must have a specific USP, and your USP increases in importance as you move deeper in your funnel. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put $1 million in your pocket right now in terms of what I'm about to show you and strategically position. Remember we talked about just ask, attitude, skills, and knowledge, the only 3 things that can be learned? Here's how this lines up with a business funnel. That's a business funnel there. Everybody understand what a business funnel is? Somebody, you get a lead, right? And usually you bring them into something for free, just like our company does. If you go to sellhighpricedprograms.com, I really recommend that you go there and you see how we set up a business back end and how we bring people through a curriculum continuity program. And that's another form of continuity. But when people come in, they register, they get some programs on our mentoring side for free, and then they can move over onto the investing side. And as we move through our business funnel, it's really important. So your USP at the beginning might be your book. And then from that book, what is the key decision that you want people to make once they're done your book? What's the ultimate business decision you want them to take? That's really important to think that through before you start putting a book together. Because your book is just an elaborate business card. It's just a handshake into leveraging Zipf's law. All right? So as your USP, you go down the funnel and more higher end programs and services, your USP must be more and more profound. In other words, when you say something, and I'm going to give you 3 examples so that all of you understand. We have several USPs within our company. First of all, a USP is developed over time based on feedback and making money. So when I went into the marketplace, we taught people how to fast write a book, and we told them how to repurpose that content into ebook technology, like as an ebook, into other forms, and very quickly, so they could start making money. That's what got us picked up by Adobe. We turned that USP into how to write a money-making book, 100 pages in less than 12 hours. Which USP is stronger, the first one or the second one? Second one. Why is the second one stronger? It's specific, exactly. So I want you to start thinking about specifics. Remember, if you're going to be nebulous, you're going to live in the city of nebulosity. It's my city. For many people that live in the city of nebulosity, it's the most populated city in the information age. It's just, throw something out there and hope it sticks. You must be specific, and it must scare you. Because if you're not specific, when I created the system on how to write a 100-page book in less than 12 hours, and I started marketing that, it was like, that scared me. Because now, I have something on the line, right? I'm promising somebody something, right? I have some skin in the game. It's not just how to fast write a book. Anybody can say that. You want to say something that your competitors aren't saying, and you want to say it such that your ideal clients see it and they say, I got to have it. I've got to invest in it, not tomorrow, but now. Another USP in our company is this: how to turn any idea into a $10,000, $25,000 program. And I'm going to talk about that on Thursday. That's another. Specific, any idea, $10,000, $25,000. Let me give you an example of a client. I told you we worked with Automax, the used car company, and we worked with them in Canada. While we were working with them, we tripled their sales. How? By educating their target market more profoundly than they've been ever educated before. Am I educating you very well right now? I'm trying to teach you how to educate your market by moving the free line. You see, several years ago, you would never have gotten this because you would have had to pay for it. And you would have had to pay huge sums of money. And this is the reality of the information age. Carol, we so want your success, Carol. We're going to give you our 97 DVD set, and we're going to give you a 5,000-page report. Here you go, Carol. Carol, big thud factor, she thinks, wow, that's really cool. Where is there more learning and teaching? Me teaching Carol how to move forward off a 97 DVD set, and each one of them is 3 hours long, and 5,000-page report, or off of what I'm going to show you on Thursday, basically a one-pager. one-pager, right? Why? Because people are overwhelmed. They just want help in terms of moving forward, right? And they want someone to hold their hand and contextualize everything. That's what you are paid to do. So let me showcase this to you right now. At your highest end programs and services, you remember Just Ask, your target market wants knowledge. And let me define knowledge, and I'm going to show it to you up there. Knowledge is equal to information plus experience. They want information screened by your personal experiences. So ask, ASK, heavy on the K on the high end of your program and service, low on the A, low on the S. Low mindset, low skill set. Unless your market, you're going into the gap in the area of expertise or mastery. There's only 4 gaps in a marketplace: time, effort. You either save people or help people in the area of time, in the area of effort, in the area of knowledge, or in the area of mastery. I call knowledge expertise. Those are the only 4 industry gaps in any market. So you've got to create a USP around those 4 industry gaps. So if we go to the bottom of our business funnel now look what happens. K is really small, all right? You can't even see it. So you need reading glasses now. I made it really small because people don't care about knowledge in your highest end programs and services. They've already got the understanding of your paradigm. Now they want help with A, that's mindset, and they most important, and I couldn't make the S any bigger on my computer. I wanted to make it 3 times that size. They want help with skills. And skills is taking your knowledge, your body of knowledge that all of you have, that you haven't systematized yet, that you've learned through the School of Hard Knocks, and they want you to solve specific problems. Help me, Thomas, in this area and all that knowledge that you have, but help me with my own situation. Do you see what I'm saying? That's where the money is made on your highest end programs and services. So don't be fooled like so many marketers today are. I'm going to give you 97 DVDs, 5,000-page report. Oh, and I'm going to throw in all this other stuff. And you know, when you really think about it, no one has the time in the day to go through it all. And secondly, most of those marketers that do that hide all their little gold nuggets, maybe on DVD 43, at hour, 2.5, and over here, or in their 5,000-page report, there's really only, it's all fluff, just to make it sound big. And that's the problem with the information age, because marketers have taken everything to the nth degree. Now everybody's overwhelmed. So you want to create high-end programs and services, help people specifically, and work with them personally. Now I'm going to showcase to you systems where you don't have to do all the work. Principles of a powerful USP provide you the advantage in the market. And the advantage is what your system will do for your target market. The features are what your system is. What is your system? The benefits are what you will get. Those are feelings, emotions, and the advantage is what it will do. Concretely, what will your system do for your target market? And it must be so powerful that your competition is scared to use it. How to focus your thinking, and I'm going to finish up here in just a couple minutes here. And any other slides we're going to ignore. I want to share with you this. I shared with it up here on the stage, and I forget, it was Dennis maybe I was talking to, I forget, or Thomas. But I shared with you, always think from an idea towards what are you trying to prove, or we call that a thesis. Don't be scared. A thesis is just simply what are you trying to prove. So if you look at this, the difference between the information age, which was all about ideas, and the recommendation age, which is all about proof. Do you understand what I'm saying, everybody? That's why social proof is everything in the recommendation age. If you don't have social proof, how many people have been pretty impressed by the social proof that I've showed you so far? And I think it's been pathetic because honestly, I would rather you watch what my clients have done because they're just representative people. You'll find somebody that represents you. So you're paid in the marketplace to bring a system into place. What are you trying to prove? And what you're trying to prove, you need to measure that. You can't measure something that happens in the brain, right? Something that's cognitive, a decision. You must measure a behavior. So in your marketing, what are you trying to prove in positioning? What are you trying to prove, and how are you going to measure it? So you must be able to measure the effectiveness of your marketing. but always begin with a thesis. So people, those of you that have already moved forward in our entrepreneur authoring program, as you work with us, we're going to be hounding you on your thesis and make sure that it's very concrete. It's spelled out specifically. Your competitors are scared to use it. Let me give you, I didn't give you the example of Automax. Automax, what we did in over-educating the marketplace is we taught them their book that we launched. And by the way, the book was so powerful, the Ontario Automobile Association purchased 50 copies for all the provinces of Canada and their sister chapters in the US. And we educated their market, as anybody that's out for a used car, greater than they've ever been educated before, because we looked at the 2 negative perceptions that people have of used car salespeople. The number 2 was this, and we addressed it in their book. And the book title was, man, I got like thousands here floating around. I'm no good sometimes with specifics on titles. I remember concepts. I'm a concept guy and putting structures around concepts, so just so you know. I remember my wife, her name's Fiona. My middle name is Franklin. Don't tell anybody. Okay, it was 7 secrets to negotiating your dream car deal. What goes on behind closed doors that you need to know to level the playing field. And what we did is we showcased to any prospective person that was looking for buying, whether they go to Automax or somewhere else. Remember, you need to be perceived as the standard. So how can you educate your target market more profoundly? That's why I'm such a huge advocate of customized education, what our expert positioner software does. So we educated them around the mathematical formulae that used car salespeople use that no one else knows, and we educated them on how, when somebody, Dennis, is shaking your hand, have you ever negotiated with somebody on a used car? Or been involved with your parents or grandparents, aunt and uncle? Has it been a pleasant experience? It's horrible, right? And Dennis will make an offer, right? And I'm the used car salesperson. Maybe I shouldn't, now you can always see that as me. See that, but I'll play the used car salesperson. I'll say, Dennis, is that the best offer you can give? Well, I'm sorry, Dennis, but you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave right now, and I'm going to go talk to my boss, and I guarantee you, when I come back, I'm going to have the deal that you're just not going to, you just can't say no to, right? And you know that, right? And it sounds slimy, and that's why people hate going to a used car salesperson, right? So we lifted the hood or the bonnet, since my wife's from Scotland, we were married in Scotland, or the boot, as they call the trunk. And we lifted all of that to reveal what actually goes on. So now, is Automax now looked upon as being someone that should be negatively perceived, or are they are they being seen as a hero in their market? Right, yes. But they're viewed as as the hero, right? Because they're revealing what hasn't been revealed before. That's called moving the free line. Secondly, the highest level of the biggest negative perception that people have of used car salespeople in our research was in the area of contracts. No sooner does Wendy, you bring that dream car home. Actually, I'm not going to pick on you, Wendy. I'm going to pick on Mick. Mick buys his dream car, right? And Mick, are you married?
I am.
Yes. And Mick has his dream car, and his wife, what's your wife's name?
Wendy.
Wendy. Hi, Wendy. How you doing? How you doing, Wendy? Good. All right, good. So I'm going to pick on your husband. Good. Okay, Mick brings home this dream car, right? And Wendy the whole time is saying, no, I don't think we should do this. Something. And Mick says, don't worry, we have the contract. And he gets, rounds the last corner, and all the neighbors are out because Mick's been bragging about this car, and what happens? He's 5 houses away and the car dies, and it rolls 3 houses away, and Mick is a little sheepish, but, he's got that contract. Don't worry, Wendy. The neighbors come out, they push the car up the driveway. Mick makes the phone call, right? This has happened, and sure enough, what does he find out? On page 43, section 33C, he's not covered, right? He has to pay. So what we did is we created a USP. This is what I mean about being out there. Finally, a used car contract with no fine print. Is that pretty powerful? And we showcased a picture of the contract on the front and a picture on the back. That's what I mean about creating, in our model, as we work with each of you that are moving forward, we're going to help create something so outrageous, and that's going to get you up in the morning because it's like, whoa. Now I stand for something. Because marketing and sales and being an entrepreneur means you need to stand for something. And let me just take you through. What are you trying to prove? Note your system is the answer. the last thing I want to showcase to you here is thinking through your flow chart. We've talked about your system. Your system should be flow charted out. Let me give you an example. When we broke into business, attacking the traditional publishing world, here's our 10 stages as I broke it down. Spend months, years writing, complete the manuscript, create a formal book proposal, find an agent, get manuscript accepted by a New York publisher, average is 4 years, if you hang in there long enough. Change manuscript according to how the New York publisher dictates. In other words, it's not your book anymore. Am I making anything up here, Carol? Get published 2 years later on average. Discover marketing is up to you. Discover that you have 3 months to sell books in bookstores, or else the book goes to a wholesaler. Get billed for all the books not sold, and that's months later. That's how bad this paradigm is from a business standpoint. Become cynical that you're one of 96% of authors who lose money using this model. The entire process takes on average 6 years. So what we did is we started going after some of those areas and building out our own system. So what I recommend that all of you do is look at, flow chart out, what is the typical way that your competitors are doing something, or what are the 3 or 4 predominant ways that your top competitors are doing in the market, and start now making some changes based on your own personal experiences. That's what your target market wants, your experiences, but they want them systematized. They don't want a textbook. Who cares if you only have 2 years and this person over here has 30 years? Who cares? They don't care. They want somebody to help them with the attitudes and the skills, somebody that can be real with them. So here's part of your homework. I'm going to give you another piece of homework. I want you to flow chart your own system out. What are you solving in the market? And I want you to go step by step. I want you to think of baking a cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, changing the tires on your X5 to shooting a jump shot. How are you going to break it down step by step? What is your system? As simple as, putting a nappy on a kid. Nappy, as my wife calls them that. I had to actually show my wife how to put a diaper on a child, if you can believe that. So my wife had no little kids. She had very few cousins. She never babysat, and she's the only child. And I had to show her, actually, she put it on backwards on our kid. Paid the price, by the way, because when he took it off, my oldest son, Callum, it was his first pee, peed, went over his head, and hit her cookies. So we still joke around with that. He peed on her cookies. He's a boy. Girls don't do that, obviously. And so you want to flow chart that all the way out and define what your system is step by step by step. So how will your system specifically help your ideal clients? Here, I just want to leave you finally with the key definitions in the recommendation age. Knowledge is equal to information plus experiences. Please, I don't want anybody here to undermine whether you're starting from scratch or you're looking, you're out of your job, and you think, man, and thank you, Thomas, right? You went by Thomas, for sharing with that. Because you know what? For a man to say that he's out of a job is hard, because men define a lot of their self-esteem by what they do. So thank you for sharing with us that. That's part of your UPP, right? Those pain points are touching points now to use in the market, with your ideal clients to say, hey, I understand you, okay? And then finally, wisdom. I shared with somebody at the back here, I would give you the true biblical version of wisdom. Wisdom is equal to self-reflection plus knowledge, okay? Notice what I highlighted in blue, experiences and self-reflection. That's what your target market wants, your ability to put them into a system. So the key to turn an idea into a thesis, what are you trying to prove in the recommendation age? Your experiences, your self-reflection, put that into a system. And then I'm going to leave you with a sales formula here. And because we started that off, remember we talked about context is equal to leveraged content, or context is equal to sales and marketing. Sales is equal to your critical key benefits plus your amazing social proof plus your amazing difference. And your USP will be found in your amazing difference. What is it that makes you different, unique? What can you say totally different than anybody else in your market? And that's the key to wealth in the recommendation age. So those are the 3 areas there. 2 critical investments in your future. and just to highlight our entrepreneurship and marketing. And I thought I would just give this to you again for those of you that I know want to talk to me. Our program covers both entrepreneurship and marketing as you build out your content, both across the internet and as we put it into a book and guarantee instant access to a New York publisher. Does anybody have any comments or questions? I'm done. Anything at all? I'm around tonight if you want to ask. I know there's a few people that wanted to meet with me. So if you do, slot down a time, put it on your card so I know. I might be around tomorrow morning if you want to meet before, or tomorrow evening. So if you want to connect, let me know. I'm seeing clients tomorrow that are flying into Florida, and a few in this area, and some people I do business with. So tomorrow's written off, most of it tomorrow, and then I'm around on Thursday speaking in the afternoon. Did everybody get some, hopefully, further some material to help you with your positioning? I want to show you that I'm a huge believer in moving the free line. This is what I teach my clients to do, so that your ideal clients are going to say, wow, if I've been educated already this way, I'm going to choose you. And that's what I want you to see. I'm modeling exactly what I teach my clients. Out-educate your target market around the negative perception of what your competitors aren't doing, and you will reap the benefits if you are structured properly on Zipf's Law and Milgram's Law. So anyways, thanks everybody. And if you have any other questions, I'll stick around for a few minutes. It is 6:15, and I know we're meeting in 45 minutes, so I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to go up to the room and do whatever. It's been a privilege to get to know some of you already, and enjoy the weekend.